Let's go. F1 sounds. Right folks, so welcome back to another video. Yes, we are doing the first drive on the E60 M5 today. I know it's a few weeks overdue, but it is what it is. You might remember we did the rod bearings in the previous update, and prior to that we did the injectors, so I'm a bit more confident to take it out on the roads and not use a recovery truck just to, you know, carry everywhere essentially. We need to actually drive the thing. But first things first, in neutral, start this thing up. It's practically silent. So that's like a semi-warm start, but that's a stock exhaust on an S85 V10. Now the plan for today is we're just going to get some GoPros hooked up and just head out on some familiar country roads. There's not going to be too much hardcore DIY or jobs being done, but that will be carrying on in the next update. I've got a bunch of OEM plus parts that I want to fit, and there's some other checks that I want to do. So yeah, the car's not totally perfect, but it's okay for us to get our first impressions. And yes, an exhaust upgrade is arriving sooner than you think. Right folks, so here we are on a country road in the E60 M5. There's no warning lights in the dash so far, so it's all good. Now, there is one other thing I just want to mention. When I got the rod bearings done, there isn't actually any running in procedure for those. You basically can crack on, obviously don't abuse it from cold, and you should be all good to go. The drive back from Evolve was also faultless, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. But yeah, just a quick little recap before we have a bit of fun. 5-litre V10, S85 engine code, 507 horsepower. It actually makes that well up at 750 RPM. Red line's at 8250. So you really have to properly drive this thing to enjoy the full experience. It also has 520 Newton meters of torque, which I believe is made at 6,100 RPM as well. So everything's right up there. But yeah, we've got a nice open road here. I've got it in M mode, which for me, I've got it with MDM at the minute, and it's an S5, but I'll just boot it now so you can actually see what it sounds like. Totally standard E60 M5. Actually, you know what, let's do something else. There's no one behind us. DSE off. I don't know how this video is going to go. It's probably just going to be me just rambling on about, you know, oh, this engine's amazing and whatever, but just stay along for the ride. You might enjoy it, you might not. All I know is I wanted to be in this driving seat for a very long time, and we're finally here. A250. Got a head-up display, you've got all these different modes. This car is arguably the one that kick-started all this kind of mode frenzy that every car has now. You got option of power, obviously you got the DSE off button, which is very it's a very exciting one. You also have EDC on this particular car, which is electronically controlled dampers. With the M setting, it's basically an individual button, as like, you know, you basically choose your favorite presets. It's not just, oh, that's automatically max attack. You can actually change it in the menus. And for that, I've left it in comfort for now, because I find that it's just a bit more supple. Like I said, I've been driving it around here and there, and the sport setting isn't too bad. I mean, we'll put it into sport now. It's still a luxury car, so it's not going to be like jumping around all over the place. But see here, it's picking up just a bit more than I'd like. So I thought, whilst we're getting to grips with the car and learning it, because that is one thing you do need to readapt your driving style. I'm coming out of the M140i, which, if you're not familiar with that build, it was 580 horsepower LSD or whatnot, but not a true M car. Very kind of on edge thing. Whereas this, with the NA power band and having to chase a red line, if you only go up to 5,000 RPM, it's basically nothing, and you won't really even get the car to spin really. You need to fully commit to it. In terms of how this one's driving so far though, I have noticed there's quite a lot of wind noise. I have a feeling it's the seal around the windscreen. It doesn't look fully secured, so maybe we need to get a new one of those. As I said, it is a used car, so it's not going to be like how it left the showroom in 2008. But oh, the steering's amazing. Look how you can just, this is a big old thing. but you could just fully just sit it on an apex. Oh dear. Right, so back into MDM. Like if you get a boot there, it's not holding back anything. It's pretty cool. Only time I've noticed it is when you're doing a full throttle upshift from first to second. That's where you do want to have DSC off. It's one way to do it. Now, because I am used to hot hatches for the most part, or smaller coupes, you can I am noticing like I'm having to give away like a bit like more preemptively. Like I'm like, oh, I can actually get to this gap like here, and you can because it's a 5 Series and loads of people drive these size cars. But yeah, it's a bit of a learning experience. And this cabin as well, because it's light and it's like big, I feel like I'm lost in here. Like I should be going to like a business meeting, not just gooning around in my hoodie, but such is life. You know, when I'm getting pinned back like that, I'm not pretending, believe me. This thing, when you're in the power band and it hits you with that SMG upshift, oh yeah, that's another thing we need to discuss. The SMG3 gets a bad rep, but believe me, there's a way to drive it, and it's bloody quick in its best settings. I haven't even gone to S6 yet. That's something you can only access in DSC off. When you're cruising, just let go of the gas like you would in a manual and just change up. Like there, you notice nothing. That was a downshift. Also, like weirdly in my head, when you change with the lever, it feels like it's smoother. Maybe it's because of how clunky these paddles are. It just gives like a, like everything's delayed. It's just like, yeah, the upshift, that's 50, you didn't notice it. There's a downshift, that's a downshift. I literally did not move my head at all. Okay, so now we're in S6, traction's off. Obviously that's the way to kind of unlock it essentially. Just check it out how violent it is. That's every bit as quick as a sequential box needs to be. Absolutely brutal, that is. Aventador vibes. This is more interesting to me. V10 in a 5 Series. The more you drive it, the more you just get addicted to it. You just hear that V10 just singing in the background. It's such a pleasant note. I doubt anyone can actually get annoyed with this. You know, like you get an E888 and it's like got a silly map on it. You probably ruin someone's day. This, it goes past just like a musical instrument. Gotta have the windows down. That headache, throttle response. Literally just be a fool with it. Now, some folks were saying in the first video that I dropped like, oh, you should manual swap it and this and that. From what I've read, there's obviously mixed opinions. Some people don't think that the manual is actually well suited to the V10 in terms of like its gearing and whatnot. I can kind of see why, because this thing is like a 205 mile an hour car at the box. I'm not too sure what the top speed of a manual one is, but I feel like I need the 7th gear in this. So far, I'm pretty impressed with the tyres on this. I mean, I thought they might be a bit sketchy, but I think I've got Bridgestones on here. I'll have to double check. And like I said, they are a bit old, but they hook up pretty well, considering you have to really like send this car to get it to do anything. See? Let's go. F1 sounds. Oh. This is perfection. You're probably thinking, Hamza, does it live up to your expectations after all these years of wanting one? Yes, it does. Just needs to be a tiny bit louder. And also I want to get more induction noise. All which can be done and are being actively pursued and will be documented in the coming weeks. But yeah, I think this is a good place to end today's first drive. Like I said, it was just first impressions. There are a few little things I want to check. A bit of the steering could be improved. I think some of the bushes are a bit old. That sealer on the windscreen definitely needs changing out. Also, make sure you are subscribed if you are new to the channel and you want to keep up to date. I'll try and keep a regular kind of schedule going forward with summer and whatnot. And yeah, follow me on Instagram, the link will be in the description. But yeah folks, I'll stop rambling and I'll see you in the next video.